Welcome to my humble abode of historical inquiry, dear listeners, where we embark on a fascinating journey through the annals of time. Today we find ourselves in the midst of a captivating tale, one that whispers secrets of a bygone era, an era that gave birth to the majestic Venetian Republic. As we delve into the earliest history of this enchanting city-state, let us first set the stage for our narrative. In the year 452, as the Western Roman Empire crumbled beneath the relentless onslaught of barbarian invasions, the inhabitants of the Italian mainland sought refuge in the marshy islands of the lagoon. It was here, amidst the muddy shores and tangled networks of canals, that the early settlers would lay the foundations for a new society, one that would eventually rise to become a beacon of grandeur and prosperity. As we navigate the labyrinthine waters of Venetian history, we find ourselves drawn to the figure of Saint Mark, whose relics were brought to the island of Rialto in 828. The legend of Saint Mark's arrival would become an integral part of Venetian mythology, symbolizing the city's connection to the Byzantine Empire and its adoption of Christianity. The Byzantine architectural models, with their elegant domes and soaring spires, would also leave an indelible mark on the city's landscape, as the Venetians drew inspiration from these majestic structures to create their own unique style. The strategic location of Venice, poised between east and west, facilitated a unique cultural and economic symbiosis that would propel the city-state to unprecedented heights. The Byzantine Empire, in particular, played a significant role in shaping the early development of Venice, with Emperor Justinian's reconquest of Italy in the 6th century introducing Byzantine administrative and architectural models that would be adopted by the Venetians. The Lombards, who had established themselves in the nearby mainland, also left their mark on the evolving identity of the Venetians as they interacted and influenced one another in a complex dance of cultural exchange. As we explore the early centuries of Venetian history, we observe the gradual coalescence of various influences: Byzantine, Lombard, and Frankish, each leaving its own distinct imprint on the city's culture, architecture, and governance. The office of the Doge, which would become synonymous with Venetian governance, was initially modeled after the Byzantine system, with the Doge serving as both the spiritual and temporal leader of the community. One of the earliest recorded Doges was Paoluccio Anafesto, who is said to have ruled from 697 to 717, marking the beginning of a new era in Venetian governance. The early settlers of Venice faced numerous challenges as they worked to reclaim land from the sea, build canals, and construct homes on stilts. Yet, it was precisely this environment that fostered a sense of community and cooperation among the Venetians. As they labored together to create a habitable space, they developed a strong sense of solidarity and shared purpose, which would become a hallmark of the Venetian character. As we delve deeper into the history of this period, we find ourselves in the midst of a vibrant tapestry of human experience, woven from threads of struggle, adaptation, and innovation. The Venetians' early experiments with governance, trade, and architecture laid the groundwork for the majestic city that would eventually rise from the marshes. And so, dear listeners, we find ourselves at the threshold of a new era in Venetian history, one marked by expansion, innovation, and the ascent to greatness. The foundations laid in these early centuries, often tumultuous and uncertain, have set the stage for a drama of epic proportions. Welcome back to our journey through the annals of time, dear listeners, as we continue to explore the captivating tale of the Venetian Republic. As we delve into the period that saw Venice rise as a dominant force in the Mediterranean, we are met with a plethora of fascinating stories, each weaving together to form a rich tapestry of human experience. The 9th century saw the Venetians establish themselves as skilled merchants and navigators, leveraging their strategic location to facilitate trade between East and West. The city's famous Rialto market, established in the early 9th century, became a hub of commercial activity, attracting merchants from all corners of the known world. One of the key figures of this period was Doge Pietro Trodonico, who ruled from 836 to 864 and played a crucial role in shaping Venice's maritime empire. Under his leadership, the Venetians launched a series of successful naval campaigns against the pirates that had been terrorizing the Adriatic Sea, securing the city's position as a major power in the region. This marked the beginning of a golden age for Venice, during which the city's merchants and sailors would establish trade routes that spanned the Mediterranean, from the bustling ports of Byzantium to the distant shores of North Africa. The 10th century saw the Venetians make significant strides in their artistic and architectural endeavors, as they drew inspiration from the Byzantine models that had been introduced to the city in earlier centuries. The magnificent St. Mark's Basilica, with its intricate mosaics and soaring domes, became a symbol of Venice's wealth and power, while the Doge's palace, with its ornate facades and grand halls, served as the seat of government for the Venetian Republic. As we explore this period in greater depth, we find ourselves immersed in a world of vibrant colors, textures, and sounds. The narrow streets and canals of Venice were filled with the smells of exotic spices, fresh seafood, and freshly baked bread, while the sound of hammering on metal, the chatter of merchants, and the chanting of monks created a cacophony that was uniquely Venetian. The 11th century saw the Venetians establish themselves as major players in the Crusades, with their fleet playing a crucial role in the Siege of Tyre in 1124. This marked the beginning of a new era of expansion for Venice, as the city's merchants and sailors established trade routes that stretched from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. One of the most significant events of this period was the signing of the Treaty of Venice in 1177, which marked the beginning of a long-standing alliance between the Venetian Republic and the Holy Roman Empire. This treaty, negotiated by Doge Sebastiano Ciani, secured Venice's position as a major power in the region and paved the way for the city's future expansion. As we continue to explore this fascinating period in Venetian history, we are struck by the sheer scale of the city's achievements. From its humble beginnings as a small trading post to its rise as a dominant force in the Mediterranean, Venice had become a beacon of grandeur and prosperity, attracting visitors and merchants from all corners of the known world. Welcome back to our journey through the annals of time, dear listeners, as we continue to explore the captivating tale of the Venetian Republic. As we delve into the 14th century, we are met with a complex web of events that would shape the course of Venetian history. The Black Death, which ravaged Europe in the mid-14th century, had a devastating impact on Venice, leading to significant economic and demographic disruptions. The city's population, which had grown to over 150,000 by the early 14th century, was reduced by nearly two-thirds, leaving deep scars that would take centuries to heal. Despite these challenges, the Venetians continued to adapt and innovate, leveraging their strategic location to maintain their position as a major trading power. The city's famous arsenal, established in the early 12th century, became a hub of shipbuilding activity, producing some of the most advanced vessels of the time. The Venetians also developed new trade routes, establishing connections with the rising powers of Europe, including the Duchy of Burgundy and the Kingdom of England. One of the key figures of this period was Doge Marino Falier, who ruled from 1354 to 1355 and attempted to reform the Venetian government. However, his efforts were ultimately unsuccessful, and he was overthrown in a coup led by the city's powerful noble families. This event marked a significant turning point in Venetian history, as the city's governance became increasingly dominated by a small elite of wealthy and influential families. The 15th century saw the rise of the Ottoman Empire, which would pose a significant threat to Venice's dominance in the Mediterranean. The Ottomans' conquest of Constantinople in 1453 marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and gave them control over the strategic Bosphorus Strait. The Venetians responded by establishing a series of alliances with other European powers, including the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary, in an attempt to counter the Ottoman threat. As we explore this period in greater depth, we find ourselves immersed in a world of intrigue and diplomacy. As the Venetians navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized 15th century Europe, the city's famous Council of Ten, established in the 14th century, played a crucial role in shaping Venetian foreign policy, using its network of spies and diplomats to gather intelligence and influence events across the continent. The 16th century saw the rise of new challenges for Venice, as the city faced competition from emerging powers such as the Portuguese and the Dutch. The Venetians responded by investing heavily in their naval capabilities, establishing a powerful fleet that would allow them to maintain their position as a major maritime power. However, this investment came at a significant cost, and the city's finances were increasingly strained by the demands of maintaining its military and diplomatic presence across the Mediterranean. As we reach the end of our journey through the history of the Venetian Republic, we are struck by the sheer scale of the city's achievements. From its humble beginnings as a small trading post to its rise as a dominant force in the Mediterranean, Venice had become a beacon of grandeur and prosperity, attracting visitors and merchants from all corners of the known world. And yet, despite its many successes, the city was ultimately unable to withstand the challenges of the modern era, and its decline would serve as a cautionary tale for generations to come. As we reflect on the legacy of the Venetian Republic, we are reminded that the story of Venice is one of human ingenuity and perseverance in the face of adversity. The city's unique blend of maritime prowess, artistic expression, and commercial acumen had forged an empire that would leave an enduring legacy on the world stage. And as we bid farewell to this captivating tale, we are left with a deeper appreciation for the complexities and nuances of human history, and a renewed sense of wonder at the achievements of this remarkable city-state. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.